Welcome to this episode of Hustle and Pro. I'm your host, Kelly Walker. Today we are interviewing a Frisco ISD student athlete, Addison Christian. We're here at Frisco High School to talk to Addison and learn about her soccer career and some leadership on and off the field. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I know you personally, and so I don't know a lot, though, about you.
Right.
So we'll talk about how I know you and all that good stuff. But you play soccer here at Frisco High, and so I guess first I want to know, like, kind of your soccer story, like,
Okay.
how long have you been playing and all that good stuff?
So I started playing soccer when I was about 4 years old, and I'm 17, so about 13-ish years. I got into soccer because of my mom and kind of just her, like, perseverance, like, to push me to go play. Like, she played collegiately. She played at Michigan State for a year and then transferred out and started the program at North Texas. So she was a big reason for why I wanted to stay in the program.
Started the program?
Yeah, started
Wow.
the program as the first goalkeeper there.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
And what's really cool about that is just that, I mean, as a soccer player, like, everyone's dream is to go play collegiately, and that was like since kindergarten, on all of my stuff, I was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, UNT soccer player. Like, it was a big dream for me. Yeah.
That's very cool.
And that was pretty much it. I mean, I played rec for a while just because I avoided burnout. Like, that was a big thing for me. I wanted to love what I was doing. So once that happened and I was getting a bit better than the other girls, I kind of moved to club, and that's where I got my groove and just started
What
really
age
training.
was that transition?
Transition might have been 4th or 5th grade.
Okay. So I feel like that usually happens like the 10-year-old
For
age.
sure.
I feel like, is that
Yeah.
like when it was? Because at least for my experience, for both of my kids, that's when the separation starts to happen more. And
Right.
then like youth soccer, rec soccer kind of starts to force you that way because you have to start to choose, like, and then as you get into the bigger fields, all the different stuff with soccer, as it grows, it steers you down that path. Like, if you're more serious,
Yeah,
you
no,
ended up going
definitely.
picking a club team. So what clubs have you played for?
I've been all around. I mean, I feel like a big part of North Texas women's soccer is just that you get an experience everywhere. So I've been at FC Dallas, BVB, which is where I'm at right now. I've tried out, I mean, everywhere, and I've gotten spots, but it's mainly been FC Dallas, BVB, and Defeaters as well for a year.
Okay, I want to talk more about that. I want to go back to that
For sure.
and ask you about some of that stuff because that stuff fascinates me. Mostly because I'm a club mom, soccer mom right now, and have been for the past 3 years. So all that's interesting. But okay, so what positions do you play?
I play center back. I played pretty much every defense position,
Okay.
and I can play some midfield. But my main focus has always been like center and outside back. For
Do
sure.
you get to play the same positions for club and for school?
Yes, for school I've been playing center back, and for club I've always played center back, but I mean, it's really getting a feel for like what you're playing for sure. So outside back has definitely been like not really a learning experience because it's kind of the same, but I mean, it's something to definitely learn and try out just for when.
Yeah, I think it gives you more versatility.
For sure.
Especially like when you're trying out for a different team or whatever, like they might not need, I mean, it's just the depth in their bench. Like if they have 2 or 3 good center backs,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes it harder for you. So if you can
sure.
do something else. All my pro athlete interviews say that, like especially baseball players, like learn something else so that you're not just
don't want to just
the
be a
second
pitcher.
baseman. Like be something else so that you're a more valuable teammate, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and so I have read that you call yourself aggressive and vocal, right?
Yes.
So tell me more about why you say that.
So pretty much it kind of goes back to club. I have this like running joke with my family, like when I was really little, I was really into it, and I was just like, I don't want to say mean, but I was pretty mean. Like I was very into it, and a big part with kind of my club that is BVB and a little bit of FC Dallas is that to be like in the position that I am as a center back, you have to be aggressive, and a center back is one of those really special like utility positions where you need to be a leader on the field.
For sure. You're controlling
You're controlling
a lot of where
everything.
people need to be.
And
right?
a big part of it is just like the mental aspect of it. And kind of this year has taught me a lot, at least with Frisco soccer, just transitioning from going to center back and starting as center back is just that you can't really focus on the mental aspect and you just want to help your team. But a big thing that I've learned, at least with center back, is that it teaches you to be a leader because you can see everything and you can just communicate. So being vocal has always been probably one of the things that got me committed. Like, as soon as I step on the field, I want to know everyone's name and I want to show and shift the play for sure.
Yeah.
And being aggressive is just coming with being a defender.
I mean,
so.
yeah, if you're not an aggressive soccer player, you're not a center back. You're not going to be a good center back,
no.
right? If you can't get in there and mix it up.
Right.
So yeah, you say you have to know everybody. So you're constantly from the get-go, like talking to your teammates.
For sure.
Moving around, like telling them what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Opportunities for them to get a better position.
And it's always just like, at least with center back and what I've learned, at least at Frisco, since Frisco is such a competitive district, our main competitors are Reedy, Wakeland, and Lone Star, and they have great forwards, really big schools that they're committed to, and you got to really read the play and organize what you want to do. So communication, being vocal and aggressive are definitely probably two of my biggest things that I consider like the most important about myself as like a player.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, I have a question written down, and you're going to be able to tell I didn't do enough homework when I wrote this because I know the answer now, but I want to hear about it. So you have a good soccer IQ, but I want to know how you built that, because some kids it's watching this and that. You talked to me about your mom, but I guess just tell me more about like how do you feel like you have built your soccer IQ up?
Okay, yeah, for sure. Soccer IQ I feel just comes like with playing the game, and I'll say it like with rec soccer, I don't really believe in like that coaches should or parents should just put their kids in club just because it's like they're in third grade and like they're not getting any better. I feel like a big part is playing the game. So if you're not really on a team that you're getting a lot of playing time on, you should move, because the only thing that's going to make you better is more minutes and building your soccer IQ, which is what I feel like I get just from playing games and practicing. I feel like watching soccer is a little bit more difficult than actually like being in the scenario and playing it, because it's kind of like chess. Like it's a very strategic and calculated game, like on where to go, where to pass, and like just constantly having your head up and where you want to go, where you want to do. But I definitely built it through playing.
Just playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were little, though, do you remember? Did your mom give you a lot of instruction? Like, was she your coach?
Yes.
And was she constantly
My
telling
mom,
you what, tips?
Yeah.
That's how I am as a mom in my sports that I love. Like, I don't tell Jack a whole lot of soccer stuff, but I do tell him, like, baseball things and little tips.
For sure.
And constantly just, like, and as we watch it, like,
right.
Hey, did you see that? Like, just little nuances.
For sure.
So I'm sure, was your mom
my
giving
mom,
you that?
My mom definitely. I mean, my dad also played collegiate at football at UNT, so that's how they met. But they were always really big on remembering the game, because if you remember a certain moment where you're like, oh, I kind of messed up on that, I know they're going to bring it up in the car ride home. But she definitely was a massive influence on my play and kind of my soccer IQ. She used to draw out on like napkins where she wanted me to go, and like little X's and O's of where I needed to be or where I needed to shift.
Oh,
so
wow.
She was very into it.
Like
even
at
when
what
I was
age
little.
is she drawing out plays on napkins?
About like 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
So she was definitely, I mean, I grew pretty fast, so just getting in the game and really playing, I mean, you start to really realize where everyone is. And just with girls in soccer here, it's just so big and everyone's really into it, even in rec. I mean, I transitioned to FC Dallas, that was my first club. And that's when I really began to realize it's a faster paced game when you get in a club, and the game is just, I wouldn't say it's changed, I would just say that it's very fast paced, everyone's very intense, and you gotta really know what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah, fast in that if your first touch is like if you hesitate,
right.
If you're trying to get control of the ball, like in rec, you've got a while.
Yeah.
But like that first few club seasons, you're like, oh wait, there's people on me
For
faster,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like you can't stop and think as much. You're losing the ball.
Right.
But that teaches you so much, right? To
it
just
does,
step it up and like you said, know what you're doing before. Because if you're waiting until the ball is at your feet to figure out what's going on, you're too late, right?
No, you're not going to have any time. But that's definitely something I learned, and just playing is really how I kind of built that soccer IQ and realized that that was what I wanted to do. Was
there ever a question if you were going to play both club and school through high school? Because some don't.
Right. I think my big thing is that freshman and sophomore year, I was kind of like hesitant on if I wanted to continue high school, but it's really just depending on what high school you play for. For me, before I committed, I was a really big academic student, like always made sure that was my first priority. Like if I'm even gonna like think of soccer, I need to have those grades first. So that was my main priority for a very long time. So kind of controlling and shuffling the play and just like having both is really difficult, especially if you're taking super hard classes.
Right.
So at one point, yeah, that was definitely a consideration, like maybe I shouldn't.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah, and especially if you're only in high school, like you got no social life if you're doing both and then on top of all these really difficult classes. But I'm glad I didn't. Like I really love the program and the girls that I've gotten to know, and all of our seniors are like studs. They're amazing, and I've learned so much from so many of them. But I would definitely, even if I did quit, I would probably come back. Like I love Coach Laris and I love the program we have here, and obviously we're pretty good because we're top right now, but I really want to see where we go on our state run, so I'll definitely be waiting for that.
Tell me about, I don't know if it's through CTE or like ISM programs, but what is your interest, like career interest?
Definitely dermatology is a big one. That's through the ISM program,
Okay.
But I really love kind of just with Frisco in general and kind of what we have going on is ISM is a super great opportunity for like people like me to get immersed into like professionalism and really like get to know what career they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So a big thing I always like kind of tell people when they ask about ISM is to just do it because there's nothing you lose,
right.
And it's all gaining. So
because if you don't like the topic you chose, you actually learned a lot that you don't like.
Right, exactly. Right? And my thing is like I don't want to go in to say like cardiac surgery and then I waste 8 years and I'm in the office and I'm like, I hate my job.
Like, why did I do this?
Yeah. So a big thing with derm, especially that I've learned from some of my the doctors that I work with, I've seen a bunch of surgeries and it's like definitely something I want to do, and everyone's super nice and just kind of, I guess it's like, I just think it's a Texas thing, like everyone's always the nicest people. And
that's great though. Well, they also, are volunteering and willing to help with this program.
For sure, yeah.
Because not everybody says yes to help and be mentors and like let you in and watch them do their thing,
sure.
I guess. So you've actually like seen the surgeries and procedures and you like it and you're like, yes, I want to keep doing
Absolutely,
this.
yeah.
What kind of procedures? I am
for sure.
Okay, I'm never going to be a dermatologist, obviously, but I love watching that stuff,
right.
The gross stuff. Like, what do you like about it?
So mine is like mainly a focus. My mentor is Dr. Stan Tolgachov.
Okay.
So he does Mohs reconstructive facial surgery.
Yes.
So it's mainly skin cancer removal, and he's like the best of the best. He's like top class for that.
So he's removing certain layers of skin and checking all around to make sure
Yes.
it's clear, and
Yes.
then like making sure it looks
for sure, yeah.
as good as it can look after you've removed that chunk
Yes.
of skin.
So
that's cool.
He's really good at it. He's taught me a bunch of stuff, and I've seen, he's flown in doctors from different countries to come observe some of the surgeries he's done, because he'll remove like massive lesions.
Lots.
Like I've seen like a scalp, like he just removes it, gets rid of the cancer, and he'll make it look cosmetically sound again. So
Is
like
he grafting other skin back on?
It's more of like if there's like an incision right here, he'll cut up and then do a skin flip and then sew. So he makes it look just like
amazing.
Flawless, and that's really what I appreciate about it, because you have to be kind of creative with it.
Yeah.
And
I watch a lot of this on TV.
Right.
So I act like I know. I don't know, but like I do.
No,
think
I
you
was
have to
the
be
same
creative.
way. I love it so much.
I think that's so cool. So this is your junior year. So this is your first year of ISM. Are you going to do it again?
I applied for my second year, so I think I'll end up getting in just because I love researching it and I kind of just love that field and getting to know everything, but I think I will.
Are you allowed to do the same field second year?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you had to like do a different take on it or anything.
Right, yeah.
So you expect and you hope to keep going with that.
For sure, yeah.
I think that's so cool. That's so fascinating. All right, I want to talk about leadership.
Okay.
So I know you touched on it earlier. Being a center back, like that's your perspective on the field. So you are a leader and vocal because everyone can hear you hollering back there. But tell me about like on-campus leadership.
For sure.
For you.
So on-campus leadership has always been like a big deal to me. I'm in student council. I've been in like a million clubs, but I think the main one that I've really just hit the nail on the head is student council. I've been sophomore class president and junior class president, and those were like massive achievements for me just because I didn't really expect it. I mean, I was kind of thrown into the role my like freshman year when I was running because I didn't even really know I was running.
What do you mean?
It was like a whole thing.
How do you not know you're running?
I kind of just got my teacher that's no longer here. I wish she was like the best, but she just put me in the ballot, and I didn't even really I didn't know I was running.
She really did, okay.
Because we didn't really have anyone running, so.
She knew you could do it.
I was the only freshman in student council at that point, because that was our COVID year. So no one was really in clubs, and I mean, I just happened to be at a few meetings, and I got thrown in, and I was like, oh, cool.
So you got into it freshman year, and then you're class president sophomore year, and you're currently class president.
Yes.
That's awesome. Good job. I
Thank
love that.
you.
That's great. And then you're also in HOSA, right?
Yes. I'm more of a, we do club meetings, so I'm more of a club meeting manager, you could say. Still an officer position, but definitely probably my main focus is going to be on the medical field, just not super, at least with ISM, I'm pretty much more, my time is spent more on that than HOSA, but it's definitely a great program. And we do a lot of competitions in HOSA. I know last year I did a competition with a few of my classmates where we went to, I want to say the Colony High School, and we were, I forget our topic now, it was so long ago.
That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. That was part of it. Okay, and then off campus, that's how I know you. So I know you through Player to Player, and I feel like you're one of our leaders. Like I assumed you were a senior. You get that a lot, I think, because you are a leader. But on our little team, big team, I guess now, you are vocal and you do step up and you do all the things that we just talked about, what you do on the field. But tell me about like with Player to Player, how you see yourself kind of leading kiddos in your team there. So
with Player to Player, it was just like a great opportunity for me to kind of reach out to like the little guys and help them out. And I have realized like with that comes like a sense of responsibility and like, hey, like I can really help them get where they want to be. And I currently have this one younger girl who I love, and she's like, I see like myself in her sometimes just because she's like, she's kind of scrappy and she's just all over the place. And I was like, oh, yep, I was you at one point. Like I definitely resonate with her. And I kind of see myself in all these younger kids just because I was like really reflectant, at least recently with my soccer like journey and just where I've gotten so far. And I mean, I really want to help all the kids I work with, and especially with camps, like, I've always loved working with kids. Like, if I could do, like, something in pediatrics, I would. Like, I just love kids, and...
You probably can, right? You can mix that into your medical field.
Yeah, for sure. But I've always loved working with younger guys, and, I mean, they're, like, my two favorite things, like soccer and helping out little
You seem
kiddos.
like you have fun out there with the kids.
Always,
Especially at camps. Like, I don't see your one-on-one lessons, but I'm sure you have fun there. But at camps, like you get to you get to compete still with the kids, and you make them compete with each other and with the coaches, with your peers. Like you get to have fun and
camps
still like you're teaching, but you're having fun.
Exactly.
But you're still like, I can see you're a leader out there.
Camps are my favorite for sure. Definitely our most recent one. Probably second favorite. My first favorite had to be summer. Like the summer camps were just the best.
Yeah, because it's a lot of fun and games. And, and you get to get involved.
That's my favorite part about Player to Player. It's not that like it's not a regular job for like teenagers. It's just like it's a great opportunity to get involved with your community and get involved with like the younger generation of athletes coming to Frisco. And that's definitely something I love.
And you're doing the thing you love, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, what are you doing for work today? Well, I'm gonna go play soccer with kids.
Yeah, it's like the best.
Better than like French fries or whatever. Okay, so now I want to talk about UNT.
Okay.
And so I feel like this was an early commit, right? So
Definitely.
Now it makes more sense knowing about your mom.
Right.
But like, just tell me about that journey. Like, it sounds like you always knew and that was
Right.
your goal, but how did it all come to be?
So, I mean, you've heard the story about like, you know, like kindergarten, but I think a big part of it that a lot of girls don't realize is that you have to be really honest with yourself in the recruiting process. And I got a head start on my recruiting process because we're only allowed to start talking to colleges summer of your sophomore year. That was engraved in like everyone's heads.
Before your sophomore, going into your sophomore year?
So going into your junior year.
Okay.
So
just
sophomore.
after you're done being a sophomore.
For sure. June 15th is when you're allowed to reach out.
Okay.
So that's like a very big milestone for a lot
Sure.
of just people that want to go play collegiate sports. So for me,
So this past June,
Yes.
it was on then?
yes.
Okay.
And that's when I had mass emailing, just constantly trying to show myself off at showcases and just really trying to get a feel of where I wanted to go. I knew I'd never really wanted to go out of state, but there's just no harm in emailing everywhere and where you want to go and really figuring out and kind of just weighing in the pros and cons of different schools. I had toured a few, not on visits for soccer or anything, but mainly just like academically where I wanted to go. And kind of just to see if I still wanted to play collegiate soccer and see where I would be a good fit. But I had always gone to these ID camps, which were just kind of, if you don't know what that is, it's just like a prospect camp for younger girls wanting to play collegiate soccer. And I've been to so many in Texas. So North Texas, I had gone to like 3 prior, had talked to the coach, and he was obviously like, well, we know who you are, so let's just keep emailing. So a few months later, I would say like I had gone to an ID camp in the summer, so I was eligible for recruitment. I had a really good talk with the head coach, John Headland, who, I mean, he'd known me when I was in like a baby carrier, so
Yeah.
he was like, I feel so old.
That's
and I was
awesome, though. That's so cool that like your time has finally
yeah,
come to where
it
you
was
could
awesome.
get into it.
And I mean, I had a lot of adversity. Like I had seen all these other girls go on visits there, and like it got me down, but it made me really want to like push to get there. And I believe it was last January, I want to say, second week of January, I had gone on my visit to North Texas, and I had just toured the school. I took pictures in the uniform and some super cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
That's
I really
so
didn't.
exciting.
Yeah, I really didn't think they were gonna offer me on that one because I just kind of was like new to everything, and they offered me, and I think I went home, and on the ride home, I had called my mom.
She wasn't with you?
No, I was alone.
Did you want to go alone? Like, was that on purpose?
No, she was there for maybe the first hour, and then
Okay.
she had a work event.
Okay.
And I called her and she didn't answer, so I called my grandma.
You're like, somebody answer.
Yeah, no one was answering because everyone was at work and it was
How
a school
funny.
day. So I called my grandma and I told her, and she didn't even know. Like, she just like, now what
Okay.
D is that? And I was like, it's D1, and she was like, oh, good job. And I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
Thanks.
You were like, I need somebody else to call and get excited about. That's great.
And then I think I committed a day later. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, I know this is where I want to be. And
It felt right. Like you
Yeah,
weren't
for sure.
questioning. I mean, you knew that was where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that you already kind of know not kind of, you know the program.
right.
Like you're so familiar.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I know you already know some teammates. I've heard you mention some to you. So that's so exciting. Now I think the hard part's going to be waiting to get there.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
like senior year for you is going to be, I mean, I don't know, like
yeah,
easy
senioritis.
and not stressful though, right? You've decided you've got
For
your
sure.
path, like you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I definitely, that's a big plus, is that you know where you're going, but that's also like, it's more of like, you know where you're going, so now you can prepare for that.
Mm-hmm.
So a big part of at least kind of the gist in North Texas, it's going to be a lot of preparation, and you want to go in as healthy and like fit as you can.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's definitely the year of kind of the prep that I'm going to do before I go in, and really just kind of soaking in my senior year. I don't want to like graduate early or anything. I kind of just want
Just
to
live it.
just live it out
Yeah.
and just see how it goes. Yeah,
Make it fun.
for sure.
All right, so I just want to close with like some other things I've seen talked about you is optimism and perseverance and determination, and that ultimately like hard work pays off for you.
Right.
And so I love that stuff. I have a tattoo about positivity, and like I do think optimism makes a difference in your life.
Right, for
And in
sure.
the people around you. And it makes
Definitely.
paths for you and things like that. So is optimism like a value for you?
It's a reoccurring thing. I mean, I've faced a lot of adversity, at least coming up in club. Some would say I had a late start, but really I think that's what helped me out, is because as all of these girls were starting to get kind of just over soccer, I was really just getting into it. I mean, as 5th grade sounds to be a normal time, a lot of girls are going into club in 3rd, sometimes 4th, 2nd.
I know. Doesn't mean it's the best
It doesn't.
option,
It
but
doesn't.
Yeah,
And
I know.
for a long time, like, everyone really told me I was never going to be able to do what I did, and I mean, that was definitely a big thing with my commitment, is a lot of people didn't. They just didn't think.
Didn't see
and,
it?
Well, they didn't see it coming, and I was
Yeah.
just kind of like,
You did.
just like
Yeah,
my
you saw it coming.
I mean, it was definitely a big thing for me, and I just, working hard has always been just like my motto. I mean, there's been nights where I've been up since like 3 a.m. writing emails to some colleges, and in the back of my head I was just like, I just want North Texas to respond or something like that.
But you're doing the work for the other options.
For sure,
and
yeah.
Backup plans, which is smart. You
Which
can't
is
just have the one focus, because
a big
if something
part.
happens and that doesn't work out, you don't want to be left with
Yeah.
no other plan.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
no backup plan.
Yeah.
That's a big part of recruiting,
Smart.
though.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, cool. I'm so glad that you had a chance to sit down with me. Like, I can't
For
believe we're in the
sure.
middle of all your soccer seasons, and you said yes, and your coach said yes,
Of
and
course.
the district said yes. I always have to clear everything with the district, so I'm appreciate your time
Of
and getting to
course.
learn
Thank
more about
you.
you. Like, I've been around you a lot with player to player, but I didn't know all the little details. So
Right.
It's exciting to watch you guys go off and do your thing. So
Thank you.
congrats.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching this episode of Hustle and Pro. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and subscribe so you get notifications for our next episode, and find us on Instagram at hustle_and_pro. Thanks for watching. See you next time.